What's going on, family? This is episode 31 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I am joined by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
Yo, what's good?
And you know, we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's good?
Y'all, what's going on, fellas? As y'all can hear my voice, I I didn't have a weekend. So we're gonna have to start off with that. So how was everybody's how everybody week been? What's been going on? What's been the deal?
Man,
What's been up with you, Iz?
it's been a nice weekend. A lot of motorcycle events for myself. Uh, Went out of town to Ohio. Was in Columbus for the weekend. Got back Sunday evening, and it was a lituation. Yeah, so it was a what was it? An anniversary for one of the clubs in Ohio, and they had a cabaret. And yeah, it was very interesting weekend. Good to see a lot of people that you ain't seen in a minute, you know. And yeah, spent a lot of time traveling on the road between hitting a road trip there and coming back, and then made it back to work, be able to go to work on a Monday. But I don't know, I like calling off on Mondays after coming from a road trip. But I didn't today, and it just seemed too much like right to do. But some reason I didn't do that today, and I should have because I don't know. Monday was doing this thing today at work. Should have been a day I've been off. But how was y'all weekend?
Mine was pretty good. I mean, it was busy, but I feel like just made it through it. We had an anniversary, 34 years for Faith Temple, so it was a lot of guests and everything like that. It was nice, and it was, I guess I know I probably sound repetitive, but usually by the time I get back here, it's be like I'm glad I made it through the week, but I'm very excited about this week. So definitely, but it was a great weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, so like you said, Luke, we celebrating the 34 years of Faith Temple, the anniversary. Uh yeah, I had to make an appearance. The king had to show up in the city. So my voice is gone. My voice is gone because we was we had a hallelujah good time, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
That's what's
But
up.
I wanted to say yesterday, yo, I appreciate just being able to see, you know, the growth of Faith Temple. Like it's been uh 34 years, and the church is only 2 years older than me. So this is like we grew up. Luke and I grew up in this church since we were babies. So being able to we got Luke who comment messing with us already. But I definitely want to break down. I definitely want to break down. The 34 years, the 3 and the 4, you know, which is 7, and understanding that there's a completion of things, but also just the 3 representing understanding and the 4 representing culture. This is something that's um real important. That's real important to us when it comes to the handing over, from one generation to the next. Hey, Ruby. Um, coming from the bishop to now the minister queen, times is changed and it's different. And for the longevity of something, how important it is for something to continue to last over 30 years. Like there's people who don't live that long. There's people who die and things of that nature. So, like I said, as y'all can hear in my voice ain't a normal voice. So I'm sorry about that, family. But yeah, I had to get my praise on yesterday because I ain't been to my home church in a minute. So I was definitely excited to be in the midst and be uh, taking in all of that energy from everybody and seeing people in person. And Ruby, you in the comment section, let me tell you, she was real loud in my ear, y'all, while she recording service. She up there always loud, and I be thinking like sometimes, like even though I'm not supposed to be sitting next to her, so I'm gonna say that's my fault. But sometimes, Ruby, you gotta dial it down. I'll be scared. You be about to take off in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, she said that's her little rostrum up there. She said,
She be about to take off. What so what you wanted to say about the anniversary or anything like that? If you want to share anything.
yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Israel father was there, pre Samuel. So, and that's like one of my grandfather's really good friends. So I was happy to see, people was able to who he cared about able to come out and see him again. I think he represents the 34 years in a lot of ways because it's consistency. My grandfather has been able to master consistency. Um, and I think that's rare with a lot of things we do, whether it's in business or it could be your own personal life. Consistency is something that I don't really take lightly because it's something that I definitely struggle with. So I've admired him for many years because I watched him really build that church. I'm 29, so I was before I was born. I was upstairs. My mother would be upstairs when she was pregnant, upstairs over the building. So I've always been around, and I'm grateful to see so many people come out. But I enjoyed myself. I am definitely happy that everybody got a chance to, kind of come in and just really be a part of it. So that's what I
That's
got to
what's
say.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby says she be taking off up there. What she can't take off up there, but that's her roster. I was gonna say, Israel. When it comes to like always fellowshipping, because Luke had a question like a couple days ago. He was like, who normally usually show up on anniversary, and I told him, I said it's usually Prophet Moses and Prophet Samuel. We always like rock with them. It's like we've been unified more than other Coptic churches. You know what I'm saying? Growing up through
Right.
the years. So um if you wanted to say anything, about the anniversary or, just Faith Temple, us growing up together.
I don't know. It was I know it was always something going there in a good way. And I don't know, y'all could have it on a I remember y'all used to have anniversaries like every Sunday. Or it seemed like every Sunday it was somebody different for y'all anniversary month, I guess.
Yeah,
Which
we'd celebrate the whole month long.
yeah, I commend y'all on that because we was like, nope, we'd always do the one week and that's that because it's a lot just doing that one time, but trying to do it full every Sunday in that month, and especially when you got a whole program going forth, and Nah, we just stick with that one weekend for ourselves and for our anniversary, and yeah, but that's always pretty cool. Interesting point. But
Yeah,
being
we
able to have a church 34 years, you see a lot of people come and go, and the transformation of a church.
Yeah, it's true.
show the transformation of a church. Different. The city, I'm gonna say for see, I'm calling it the city. It was just Faith Temple at first. Now we are Faith Temple, City of Love, Truth, and Deliverance. So that's even a change from the 34 years of where we began and where we started from. You know what I'm saying? Now the leader is the daughter of our first leader, which was the Archbishop Titus. So, like I say, like how you say, things change over time.
Right.
Things change over time, and like I say, I'm grateful to be able to be, home to at least see people in person and be there and just feel the energy of the people and see different people that I haven't seen in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I I I definitely appreciate uh all of Faith Temple. And so, we have to always shout out the nation. This is what this podcast is for. This is what this podcast is for, to um for us, by us. You feel me? Real FUBU. This podcast ain't just have a podcast for anything. This podcast is for the nation, for the people. This is for all of the churches. We don't do all that dividing over here. This is a positive podcast, as we keep on repeating, and this is for the whole nation as a whole. So um but yeah, you hit it right on the head, Israel, about the um, the differences in 34 years of a church growing, people coming, people going, people returning. Mighty people have passed away. Life is life, and it's a big journey. And uh, this has been one big, long ride.
Mhm.
All right, fellas. You know what's not a long ride? No, let me stop. Let me stop right there. Hold on. That was a bad segue. So remember when we was talking about remember we was talking about Usher, right? I mean, we was talking about Chris Brown. And
Mhm.
if y'all would have these pictures with Chris Brown, like would y'all let y'all lady friend, take these pictures, this $1,000 that's supposed to go on y'all rent and y'all mortgage and all these other stuff y'all could be paying for. Y'all let this man go, or you let your woman go and go hug this man, do all types of crazy pictures with Chris Brown. Well, we got another person that has been doing some weird things at his concerts, and that man is Usher. We Usher been cutting up, y'all. Usher been cutting up. He's not. It's not like it's his idea most of the time. It could be, but all of the women are going crazy. And so I just want to show y'all this video of what Usher been doing lately at all of his concerts. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. This is a family-friendly podcast. All right. Fellas, we got the women up here playing with cherries at an Usher concert. It's also a video out here of him doing it to Tiny, which is T.I.'s wife. Fellas, y'all already know what I'm about to ask y'all. Would y'all go and let y'all lady be at this Usher concert licking on the cherries like they, you know what? Sexual stimulus is a point, by the way, but would y'all let y'all lady friend go to these type of Usher concerts and display this type of behavior?
You go first, Israel. Like I did that. You mute it. You ain't slick. You mute it.
Not, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like they could go to the concert, but if you're gonna be doing all of that, like you gotta be single. You could do it. You just gonna be single. You ain't gonna be with me. But yeah, you do it. You for the streets. You know, if you for the streets, that's okay. But um, you just can't be with me. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
What about you, Luke?
He was so man. Beta. No, let me stop. Nah, that's. I mean, like I agree with Israel. You know, if you want to go to the going to the concerts with your friends is already red flags for me. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but I ain't even gonna lie to you. That's automatically red flags for me. But maybe that's a personal thing. But if you doing all
Wait a
that,
minute. So girls can't go to concert. Girls can't go to concerts with their girlfriends.
I ain't say that. Depends on the
Okay.
friend. Like I've come to understand with relationships. You know, if your lady say to you and she say, you know, hey babe, I see him. I don't like the way he move. Feel like he feels some kind of way around you. He jealous. He do things you don't see, but I see. I would take that seriously. Like if you my lady and you said that. Unfortunately, it's usually not like that the other way around. Though we as men, we don't. It's not as popular for us to say it. We be thinking it though. Like I don't really like you hanging out with her. She doing too much, or she has ways about her that you know what I'm saying. That ain't what we on. Most of the time, we leave that alone. So I would say going to a Usher party and acting like this. If your friend is one of them people, you not going out with her if you my girl. Like I'm just gonna be real. Like if nah, I don't trust her. She come on, girl. Come on, girl. It's okay. No, I don't even need you to be in no position like that. My job is to even keep you from having to even be in a position to make a decision like that. Because if she's willing to go do that, what else is she's willing to do? And these people recording this. That's wild work to me. You know, it's like I thought they did stuff like this at bachelorette parties and stuff. Like I thought that's what they was doing, but they wouldn't record it. It just seems like the world just don't care. Like it's just like, bro, like I mean, but maybe I'm old school. I'm 29 with an old soul, so maybe that's what it is. But nah, that girl, if that was my girl, she'd be single. She'd be single. If I could seen a video like that, because if I didn't make her single, you know what I'd be, y'all? A beta. No, all right, I'm done. Go ahead, stop.
I'm gonna say, I gotta say something different from y'all. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna let my girl go only if she, she gonna do me like she did them cherries. That's it.
Oh
That's the only
my
after the
god.
concert. After the concert, she could come home and how she did them cherries in that video at the Usher
This
concert. She better do
guy.
me like that. That's how she got.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, sexual stimulus is a point now, Israel. We got them in our points now. They say, we can talk
Absolutely.
about it. All right. So what I'm saying is, okay. What I'm saying is, she could go to the concert, get lit, get drunk. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know how many shots she didn't have before this video didn't search for stuff. You feel me? So she probably lit. And you know what I'm saying? It's Usher, you know what I'm saying? She probably, you know what I'm saying? She like him, you feel what I'm talking about. And so, she gonna show out. Now,
So
if no cameras was there, like if they were old school and people didn't have cameras out and they enjoy concerts like they used to back in the day, we wouldn't even see this. We wouldn't even see this video.
Right.
But but if it was no cameras out and she did this, like I say, she come home to me, do me like them cherries, we all straight, we good. I ain't got no complaints.
So
Now the thing
so
is,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
go
I
ahead,
gotta ask one quick question though before you go on.
go ahead, go
So
ahead.
you telling me if your girl came and she said Usher was dangling the cherries in my mouth and all that, you gonna be cool with that? Like, I'm just
You know,
asking. Like, if it,
he stopped it. You know, he stopped, right, and she started doing it by herself in the video.
yeah, I know. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, but
she's a
like the
freak.
whole
Super
it to
freak.
me is for me. The reason I'm well, the reason I'm asking Solomon is because in my mind, like, where is the fantasy leading? Is this an Usher fantasy and I'm just here? Am I just a placeholder? Or you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but you said
I
if
mean,
it
they,
wasn't cameras, but if she came and told you this how it was, you'd be like, oh, okay, as long as you know.
yeah, as long as, I mean, if she can't do that to him in real life, I'm okay. She doing it to me in real life. That's what matters
I understand.
to me.
I feel you.
So like, if it's just a fun thing, like in the video with Ti and Tiny, right? Ti turned his
Uh,
wife to receive the cherries from Usher. You feel
Yeah,
me?
in her mouth,
So
in her mouth, like
yes,
in her
like he
mouth.
turned her around, cheer,
The
and
world
Usher put
is
the
different.
yeah. Do you want me
This
to
is
show the?
this is this is interesting, bro.
I
I
will.
don't know.
I will. I will say this though. You did bring up a point in this whole situation though, of like how the world is changing and they don't slut shame anymore. Remember years ago when Amber Rose and Kim Kardashian was doing this slut walk thing and it caught fire all over social media and things of that nature. They since then a lot of like it's been like proud to be promiscuous. And remember we talked about this last episode how some of these promiscuous people are emotionally damaged people. So I get what you're saying, where you coming from, Luke, when it comes to the whole, hey, these emotional damaged people and trying to be okay with being damaged, walking around just being damaged people is not the right move or the right thing to do. So I get what you're saying when you come from that type of angle. Like, hey, why is it so accepted to be an emotional damaged person, to be so promiscuous, so open with their body, so open with their sexuality, so open? Well, we don't want nobody to go back into the closet. I'm gonna say that for myself. I don't want people to go back into hiding who they want to be. I'd rather we be living in a world to be like, hey, no, I don't believe in labels, but I am a person who do X, Y, and Z. Cool. Now that I know what type of situation I'm dealing with, and I don't have to guess or I don't have to feel attacked or be low key sexually harassed by another man because he might be attracted to me, then I can go about my day without having to question somebody else's sexuality. Even though it's not my business, I'd rather someone come out and say, this is how I am. This is who I want to be, instead of hiding themselves to try to portray something that they're not and then have a bigger issue other than just being promiscuous.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. And I agree with you on a lot of that. I think that is
So,
necessary. Yeah, I think that is necessary. I'm more surprised with the Ti than I mean. It's one thing when your girl, but like this is wife. So in my mind, and they have a brand, an image, and a brand. So I'm, I mean, but they still are. They're married. Whatever they discuss, whatever they're comfortable with, at the end of the day, it's still right as a married couple to engage and publicly do it. I'm just surprised. I mean, again, Ti was a rapper, so it's like certain behaviors I'm just not used to. I've never seen. I never seen before. Like that would be a new one for me. I can't say. I mean, usually stuff like that would be disrespectful. So
You gotta
I get what
remember,
you're saying.
first and foremost, they are entertainers, so they at the level where
True.
he know, all right, yeah, this for entertainment purposes, and then
Mm,
as long as they don't cross a level of line crossing, then it could have been okay for him. Because when you get to a certain point in your relationship and in your stardom, you are secure within yourself, where you don't have to worry about, okay, they might do this, but you ain't got to worry about that because you secure with where you at, who you are, and what you got going on. That's just a different type of level.
See, y'all, I would have asked for that girl number when she walked out the stadium after the concert was over. To be honest, I'm just that type. I would have been like, hey, yeah, I seen you with the cherries, girl. What's your name? You know what I'm saying? If I was there, you feel me? Like, you know, especially if she had glasses, you know, you got to keep them glasses on. That's going to be the motto of December. Did you leave your glasses on, young lady? Did you leave your
Well,
glasses? Do you have some? Do you,
do you got your
do you have
glasses?
prescription? Do you got your glasses? You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, when you what you said about the age thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm old enough to do everything but retire. So
Use that line again this weekend. Man, that's a whole situation within itself. Like,
that's another lituation, as you say.
yeah, it's a lituation, but at that point, it was a situation. Like, either you do or you don't. We gonna talk or no? Anyways,
Well, you know what was another situation that happened actually last week, and we were gonna talk about it on the podcast, but it didn't get to the level of what it's gotten to now. Now it's gotten to a level where we gotta talk about it. First, it was just, oh, okay, somebody, you know, tragically got shot, but now it's getting deeper, y'all. So Israel had to bring it to our attention, and
oh
I actually
yeah,
have a video to play for everybody. Um, and that is the United Health CEO, healthcare CEO. Let's watch this.
yeah, he was targeted and shot down, point blank range. There's a whole backstory to that too. After we go towards the video, let's see.
Picture bro had a problem. It was because of a girl. To understand what I mean, first you gotta know how bro did it. Now I don't want to call him bro the whole video, so I'm gonna call him Run Him Down Jake because he kind of looked like Jake Gyllenhaal to me. Anyway, Run Him Down Jake hops on a Greyhound from Atlanta to New York. Why is he going to New York? Because he knows the health insurance CEO has an annual every year conference. So Run Him Down Jake's his bet. I know what he finna beat. He gets to New York and he goes into a hostel, which is kind of like a little hotel thing. He stays at the hostel, he chilling. The next morning he goes to the front desk, and here's where things start to get wicked. He sees an employee. I guess she kind of bad. So he said, "Oh, I think I say yo. What's your name, mama?" She said, "My name not in the report, so for the sake of the TikTok, you can call me Employee One." He said, "Okay, okay, Employee One, what's good?" She said, "Take off your mask." He said, "What? This mask? Now you know you handsome if you cannot wait to show off your." He said, she probably said, "Oh." He said, "Yeah, hold that thought. I gotta take care of something real quick." And we'll run him down. Jake gets back activated. He pulls up to the CEO's hotel 5 minutes before the CEO arrives. And yo, again, CEO pulls up. Feh, feh, feh. Run him down. Jake lets him go. Now, here's the crazy part. On the shell casings, the thing that's left behind after you let them things go, there were words written on them: delay and deny. What does that mean? Well, it's basically how health insurance companies operate. They delay giving you the money for treatment because hopefully you get before they give you the money. They flat out deny claims, talking about why would we get you new glasses? You got your hands. Why don't you just feel your way around? They defend their decisions in court because they got money. You probably don't have money, and they can pay for really good lawyers. And most of all, since it's tied up in the court system, that's even more of a delay. This is why people say health insurance companies are evil, but we'll get back to them in a second. As for Run 'em Down Jake, he hops on a bike, skirt, boys start moving from the hotel, zing, zang, zoom. He gets to the park, Central Park, massive, massive park. And well, he probably had a change of clothes or something. He gets away. But going back to this picture, you got to understand something. The police cannot let Run 'em Down Jake get away with this. And using this picture, they're going to do everything in their power to catch him. Because, like I said, everyone hates insurance companies.
All right. It's a very long video. I just wanted to get as much as I could in that for our viewers to listen to. So just to kind of clear up every single thing that he was basically saying to us, the man accused of killing the head of United Healthcare Insurance is being sent to face charges in New York where the attack happened. Luigi, or however you say his name, 26 years old, is being held without bail in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested at a McDonald's on that Monday after the broad search on December the 4th. Yeah. The gun found on Luigi when he was arrested in Pennsylvania matched the shell casings found at the shooting scene in Midtown Manhattan, the New York police say. So
he was supposed to get rid of that
yo,
gun.
we got a lot to try to break down on this. First of all, the people are saying it's okay that he killed this man. The people are like, yo, it's cool. We straight. One person who in the health field who has been harming us and trying to destroy us, these insurance companies, like how in the video say, we gonna delay your health insurance and how to heal you. We gonna deny any type of injury or any side effect that's gonna harm you by us helping you. We're gonna do all of these things to make sure that, you know, when it comes to big pharma and here in North America and all the issues that we have when it comes to health insurance, you know, we're going to make sure that the people, we're going to treat you, but we're not going to cure you. So the people are just like, oh, he got killed, CEO of a big health company, insurance company. Okay, next story. But now it got deeper when they found this man, Luigi. And so, fellas, he got caught lacking at Ronald McDonald's house.
Man, he was probably trying to get a
So,
Happy Meal.
so Israel, go ahead and say your piece on this story.
Man, it was some more to the story too. The crazy part was when New York City, they put what was it, a bounty or what you call it? When they put the reward money up there,
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 reward for whoever could tell information on the shooter, and it was like nobody in New York was saying nothing. It was like, oh, they was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, glad and kind of glad it happened, or kind of let the shooter
Yeah, they
get
was
away.
hiding. They was hiding.
Yeah, yeah, and then it was also like so with the shooter, I read somewhere online that it was like it kind of stemmed from with his mom, that whole situation he had with his mom, and they denied like the her treatment and stuff like that, and it kind of set him off. So yeah, that part is it's all crazy. And then with him getting caught at the McDonald's, I think because of him taking the mask down, it was able for them to find, more of who he was, or generate what he would be able to look like. But man, I think and then also with that same case, they ended up, I think the United Health, what was that, United Health Centers and a couple of other health companies, they started making a list to their presidents and their they staff private, because it used to be public knowledge. You could go look it up, and then now they done taken their list and made them private, so where you can't find out who's who and who's what in the companies.
When you say who's who
Ooh,
and who's what do you mean by the list, Israel? Like what's
So
on the
it
list?
was
Let me
it
see.
was like a list, kind of sort of list where you could be able to figure out who's who and what company. Like look
Okay,
at
I see
in
what you're
the
saying.
health companies, like who's the president, the VP, the chairman, CFO, COO, and then they made that from public to like private, so you can't just look it up no more.
they
That's
scary.
They took it off the websites. A lot of
They
companies took that off their website.
scary.
Yeah. So
Go ahead, Luke, because I got something to say about that.
nah. I just think I'm gonna let you take it over. I think that's crazy as well that you can't find out who these people are. I get the situation, but if it's that deep, these companies got enough money to up their security if they have to. I think that'll be more logical than to making it private who runs these corporations. People should know who's running these corporations. Like I don't like that, but I
right.
understand. I think it's a crazy situation. Um, I've heard a lot of different things about it. I think we're gonna see what this all come out. Seems a little weird to me, just a little weird, because this guy, when you look into his background, his family, they asked his friends, they checked his social media. He's not a radical, So this was either a tick off, or, but as we see with Hunter Biden, as we see with Russia and the Russia collusion, as we see it, everything that was once sounding crazy may actually now be true. And a part of me feels something is orchestrated in this. You never know in this world, especially when you're dealing with high level people like this. And people put together stories before we get to, like we could really be looking at the story that was planned to seem to make sense. I'm always now more skeptical because these things, they're not so much conspiracies anymore. Most of the time, they either have some kind of truth to them, or it's not the whole. We're not getting the whole story. So I'm interested to see how this comes out. How did he know he was there? How like there's a lot of things that just not making sense to me. But what's your opinion on this album?
Yeah, so I agree with you. That to me, that is crazy work that all of a sudden they up here trying to hide who's running these health companies. And actually we need to know that. Y'all upset because there's a man who took the time out of his schedule. Um so what I got from the story, Luke, was he was having severe back pain, which made him have to basically quit his job. He was working in the tech field. He was a tech person, and he went to the doctor to help him, of course, get rid of the chronic back pain that he was having. And they basically couldn't really help him.
I'm
So
trying to
like
see.
he went to like maybe like a I don't want to call it depression or not, but he basically had his way of what he was feeling, and he he went off the grid for a couple of weeks. His mother actually gave him a missing persons report. She reported him missing because she couldn't find him. When they finally found him, he took a bus from Atlanta to New York to find Brian Thompson, which is the CEO that he killed, that he unalived. I'm sorry, we're in 2024 now. I can't say killed him for real. And after he did what he did, he went to McDonald's. He was hungry, and they ended up finding him. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for that Big Mac.
Now, I did see something. I wish I had the video because I want to see how true it is. But um, they were saying it was two different jackets or something. Maybe we can do a follow up next week. I'm gonna do a little research um, because, like I say, it seems convenient. I mean, even the story you just said right there, Solomon, so convenient. And convenience to me in 2024 leads to something bigger than what we see. I mean, I get it, but the reason I find it interesting is if he was radical. A radical person is gonna say, I'm not gonna blame my doctor, not my insurance company, not the agents on the phone, not the manager. I'm gonna go all the way to the top. And to make that many decisions, I mean, he had to have lost his mind like that. You go off the grid, you make a bus ticket or a plane ticket, like, and that's what they're gonna look at in court. I mean, if he's found guilty for this is a life sentence. Premeditation is not even the right word.
I
This is
think this
long
is part
past
of.
pre.
Oh,
Go ahead, Israel. What you gonna say?
oh, this is part of what makes America great again. But people aren't doing what they need to do anymore these days. Where they say there was a saying in Limitless: kill one, save 1,000, something like that. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Hey, I'm just
I'm
like I
not
say.
promoting anything, but I'm just saying.
I what I will say and what I will promote is stop letting these companies in America, these healthcare insurance companies, get away with not treating these people in America. Okay, now it's time to get to the reason why we the Pharaohs podcast. Now we about to go in. We understand that there is a thing called population control. And we do understand that there are some rules that's hidden from people that in America there's maybe a certain type of number of people that you need for the different type of demographic and people that is living here in America. Okay, y'all are using insurance, and when I say y'all, I mean the government, because they are the ones who are funding some of these practices. Whether it's private or not, you still have to have some capital from somebody from somewhere. They are using these health insurance companies, to basically do the bidding for them, for those people to not be able to treat themselves and die from all types of diseases, chronic pain. Do you understand what chronic means, and being in chronic pain can do to a person's mental? Being in pain, you're having your body send off all those flares to your mind to let you know that there's a body part hurting you all of the time. No matter if you're taking ibuprofen, no matter if you're taking any of those heavy painkillers, you know that people can get addicted to painkillers. So let's say this man didn't get a chance to even get some of his pain down. That's gonna mess with his logical thinking. That's gonna mess with somebody's logical thinking if they can't be out of pain.
Absolutely.
what they was talking about yesterday at the anniversary, Luke, about peace, trying to make the right decisions in peace. You think that man was peaceful? That man was in chaos in his own mind, in his own body, and there was nobody to help him. Now I'm not going to sit here and say it's okay for him to be this crazy and for him to do the things that he did, because like you said, Luke, that man, he took the time to get a ticket to go find his brother.
Yeah, that
This
was a
white
lot.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was heavily invested at that point.
hmm That's on like premeditation on a whole nother level. On a whole nother.
So if he went to go do this, that man wasn't in his right mind at all. That one, who thinks to do something like that? You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to find the CEO. You guys aren't going to give me the pain medication. You guys can't help me with what's going on with my body. I know it's something going on. And I'm going to go up there and I'm going to talk to Brian Thompson and I'm going to off his head.
That's a whole nother level of on site. That's on site. He didn't do nothing.
That it's back to, I told y'all, I think we were talking about it earlier, Solomon. It's the Joker fantasy, and I think that's why it's such a big thing. There's this, there
Mm.
is a battle between society and big government, big pharma. There's a battle because a lot of untruthfulness, and this is why I know this is why that movie did so well, because if you look at the end when they, when Joker was being interviewed, there's a level of climax that scene had, and I think it's so interesting because yeah, it's like, oh well, that's a movie, but literally this situation is mirroring the concept of that movie.
Right.
He was someone that had been picked on. He was dealing with a mental issue. He couldn't get any help. Poor, and somehow, some way, because it's funny to laugh at him, or because of whatever pain he had, he found himself on this show. And he did what he did. And then now we look at this, it's like the world is looking at it. And I think that's why the world is so divided. No, of course, no one wants anybody just gunned down in the streets, but it does raise the conversation on how is it
Right.
that it has gotten to this level? How many people have you hurt in reality? Big pharma. How many people have passed away because they couldn't get proper health coverage, or they didn't have the right resources because of the bracket of their income? It's a real conversation to have.
What you got to say about that, Israel?
I said what?
What you got to say about that? Like just the whole him buying that ticket and like you say, that on-site type of mindset, even though, it might have been funny, but like how serious, could this be when it comes to this whole situation? Like just breaking and analyzing all the aspects of what happened with this.
I was real serious. He knew dude's every move. He meant business. And he executed it the way he did. And with that, it just goes to show some things you can't take lightly when it comes to other people. And you never know what they're gonna do. That's the type of world we living in.
Maybe his girlfriend was at that Usher concert eating them cherries. I don't know. Maybe
Oh
that is
my
also
gosh. I'm crying.
Probably like she doesn't even like cherries, but she eating cherries online. Cause
maybe
Usher,
that was another reason. Maybe that's another reason he had to, he snapped.
his mom probably told him no that day too. So,
His mom told him no.
mm-hmm. All the more reason.
I ain't trying to make light of the situation. This is a serious situation, but like you said, in that Joker film, I always think about the best Joker to me, which was the one that was in the Dark Knight. and he just had the slightest thing that would just tick him off, and he'd just be so crazy with it. Like, you know, certain little lines. He's like, "You want to see a magic trick?" And he had the little
I know
pencil
why I
on.
got these scars.
You know why I got these scars, and
Yeah.
why so serious? You know, like he's just all.
Yeah, that's wild.
And if his girlfriend ain't go to that Usher concert, maybe that CEO will still be alive. You know. I'm sorry. This happened later. The Usher concert was after that, so it's no correlation, family. We're just joking. But what's not a laughing matter, fellas? I got a clip. I have a clip that I want to show you all and the family, because this is something that caught my attention and it bothered me on a different level, because when I seen this video, I said, wow, how true is this? And we're going to go into Ask the Pharaohs. We're going to go into Ask the Pharaohs because this is something that I'm going to ask y'all after we see this clip. Y'all know how we get down here on the Pharaohs Podcast. So let's check out the clip, family. And this video is entitled The Crisis of the Black Family.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Challenges Black people have for the next 100 years. The number one challenge is the existential crisis of the Black family. Crisis of the Black family.
I don't think it's playing.
Marriage in our culture.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me go out of it. But basically, it's gonna go into. I'm gonna restart the video so we can really get into it. But the video itself, family, just basically described exactly how we believe that the Black family is now being destroyed here in North America. Oh my goodness, the video, for some reason, is not working.
It was working a little earlier.
This is crazy. This is crazy. No, it's moving, but I can't hear anything from it. And I want y'all to hear this man break it down. Basically, he was saying, dang, I really wish y'all can hear it so he can break it down. But basically, he was saying,
were you able to
no,
hear
I wasn't able to hear it at all.
Because I was able to
was
hear
it playing?
On my end. Yeah.
Y'all was able to hear it?
I was able to hear him talk. Yeah.
Okay. All right, bet. Let's play it again then. Then. Y'all can hear it then. That's cool with me. I heard it already, so I ain't gotta.
Okay. I give you a thumbs up.
I ain't gotta.
Sure if the audio works.
Okay.
Family. The existential crisis of the Black family. Marriage in our culture is down to 34%. When we were growing up, it was 85%, is now down to 34%. 71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married, 63% of our brothers are not married, 30% of them will never get married. There is no culture in the history of humankind that has risen to maximize their full human potential without family at the center of their culture. This only exists. This is an interesting but negative statistic. This phenomenon of the existential crisis of our family only exists among African American black people. It does not exist on the continent or anywhere else in something in the water. We must fix this. It is a lot easier said than done because it is impacting our wealth. Quick statistics. For 350 years, household median income was dominated by white people. They were number one in this country. They no longer are number one, they're number three, and there's a reason for it. So, who has the highest household median wealth in America? It's East Indians, $104,000 a year. What's the marriage rate in the East Indian culture? 94%. Two are working. Who's number two? Chinese Asians. Household median income, $110,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. Number three are white people. Household median income, $88,000 a year. What's the marriage rate? Almost 50%. Down significantly. Number four are Hispanics. Household median income, $61,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. We are at the bottom. Household median income, $55,000 a year. Marriage rate, 34%. And projected based on facts and statistics that if we do not fix this, because white folks ain't fixing this, our marriage rate will be in the low teens in the next 20 years. This is an enormous challenge. That's a whole talk by itself on how do we fix it. It can be fixed, but we have to, first of all, understand that this is a problem. No one's talking about this problem. This is a huge problem. It's the number one problem in our culture. So we must fix it.
Oh.
There's a talk I give on the 5.
All right, fellas. What y'all want to tackle first? Y'all want to talk about the income effect of what he was saying? Y'all want to talk about the divorce rate that's so high here in America, but not in the other melanated popular countries such as Africa, such as Jamaica, such as the Haitians, such as all of these other people? Which y'all want to tackle first? Because we got a lot to talk about on Ask the Pharaohs. That's why I kind of started it a little bit early, because there's like 3 different questions that we could ask. So which question do you want me to ask first? Do you want me to ask the economic question, or do you want to talk about the divorce rate?
We could go with the economic question.
All right. All right. So Israel, statistically speaking, America has the highest divorce rate amongst melanated people, the African American culture. Why do you believe that is only here that the divorce rate is so high, only in this country for Black people?
Man, they probably because we as melanated people aren't making that a part of the culture anymore. They just making the culture as which is crazy. That's a crazy. I'll get into that statement. So, not making marriage a part of the culture anymore. I was talking to this sister at a where was I at? I think I was at a Friendsgiving, whatever. Nice, educated Black women and men here at my cousin's Friendsgiving or whatnot. And then I got into the nitty gritty. You got kids who out the band. The conversation different when you're around different people and when you get more so a mature crowd, right? And then there's one lady like, yeah, I'm I done declined my fiance a couple of times. He want to get married, but I'm scared. I'm like, you scared? How long y'all been together? She was like, together 14. They got engaged, been like 2 years or something. I'm like, so what's up? What's the problem? I'm like, y'all got kids? She like, yeah, we got 2 kids. I'm like, how old are they? She like 12 and 14. So I'm like, so let me ask you this: Is it more? I was like, let me formulate the question right. So, you know, I can ask, I can formulate it right and it makes sense. So I was like, is it a bigger deal to have to get married than it is to have children? Because if you have children, you in it for life. You get married, yeah, you can get divorced or whatever, things go. It's like that's a for life thing, but people make it seem like it's easier to just have children and not get married than it is to get married and not have children. So I don't know. They figure marriage is really a binding end all be all opposed to having children. Like the culture has made it easier to have children. Like yeah, you can have children, not be married. Versus like yo, you got to be married and then have children. So it's just the shift. That's been the shift. It's been have children, not get married versus get married and then have children. But yeah, that was long drawn out answer to that. But they haven't made it a priority. They have changed the shift. The shift now is have children, don't get married. It's a big commitment to get married versus having children, which is crazy. It should be the other way around.
Luke, why you think that is that now the priority has changed? That oh, you know what, it's okay to have children, but it's not okay to be married anymore.
Because
Oh
you could get
man,
paid off of
because
children.
that
Mm.
yeah, because that's you took the words right out of my mouth. Children, well, one from a man's perspective, I think we've learned in the West that marriage is not what it is in the East. It's no coincidence that when he was naming the families that have a high level of marriage, he was talking about Eastern cultural families. In the West, marriage is a tool of weaponization, depending on who's holding the tool. It could be a tool that's used to build wealth, or it could be a tool that's used to weaponize and kill and destroy a man's wealth. And for generations, we've watched many men lose a lot. It's actually become so bad now when you go to the barbershop, all you hear is the stories about how, yeah, he just went through that divorce. He had to go down, he had to get him a little apartment now because she took the house and she took the kids. And, it's almost normal. Like, it shouldn't be, but that's West. That's the Western society for you. I think the flaw comes in with it's weaponized now. So a lot of men in the West, from the whites to the Hispanics that are over here as well as the blacks, how can you add it up? So you're saying to me, the most I can do from this marriage is give generational wealth. But I think this goes to the question that you asked, Solomon. Okay, so why do they make the children first? Because the children are more of a solidarity that cannot walk away. Your children can't divorce you. Your children have to hold your last name regardless. Only time they can do anything is if they turn 18 and they change it. They're actually a more reliable commodity than the actual marriage. And it's sad that it's like that, but that's because divorce is like it's thrown around. Versus in these Eastern cultures, there has to be a meeting, a council has to come. You talk about divorce, it has to be something absolutely sinister. It's not like that in the West. It's
I think
not. It's
another
like, I'm not
reason,
happy no more. I don't like the way I feel. It's not the same no more. You sign these papers. If you don't, I'm going to give you hell. And in reality, 80% of divorces are initiated by women of the
mm,
West. When you're talking about whites, blacks, and Hispanics, 80%, not
that's
50.
crazy.
That's a big number. So I always used to ask the question, well, who values marriage more? Because we as men got more to lose. And I think what that did was create a ripple effect to where men who have not signed the contract, it's still a contract. It sounds
Hmm.
good, but he's speaking like that because it's business. This is a contract. less and less black men are being willing to sign their name on the dotted line. They're not willing to sign to the recording label anymore. Y'all gotta watch the signs, y'all. There's parallel things going on in our society. Don't nobody want to sign to the label no more. Don't
You know
nobody want to
why?
sign to this 10-year contract because they are in fear. But the fear is warranted because of the results that have been shown from prior generations, our uncles, our fathers. Some men, yeah, they did deserve it. But you telling me this man built everything and he had to lose everything even though she built nothing?
Mm.
That's gonna make you say, do I really want to do that? Because what if she don't like me no more? What if she say one day, you ain't did nothing wrong. It's just I don't feel a spark. I could lose half of everything. It's kind of hard to make that decision now. It's not like it was in the 70s and the 60s, and the 50s and the 40s, and the 30s and the 20s. It has been weaponized. So I understand
Mm.
why. Like I said, I understand why the children are coming first because they are a solid commodity. Especially for men, if they're your baby, they're your baby. There's ain't nothing else to talk about. They can never divorce you. But if you passed away and you built a legacy, you can pass your inheritance over to your children. So that creates a problem now because it's like, okay, usually the point of creating the nuclear family and building up a nation is in order to be able to pass inheritance from generation to generation. The only way I see us finding a way out of this situation, y'all, is retraining the children now to value one another in relationships better than we do. That's the only way I see it.
Yeah, you could do that with the retrain. And also, reasons why men aren't doing that binding contract is because they see women more as liabilities instead of assets. It's like, what am I gaining by doing this situation? That part. And it was another piece, I forgot. But that's a major key too.
Yeah, I knew one of y'all would hit that. I was gonna say that for one of y'all to hit. That's the truth there.
What you think, Solomon?
Well, I still believe that in order to have a black family structure to be solid, it starts with the man and the woman first, the dynamic of that relationship first. So the husband and wife have to be on one accord. To me, I still believe that's the right way to do it because what we're seeing is a lot of blended families, which is the stepmother or the stepfather or the different types of relationships where it's not straight husband, wife, and their children. And what can happen is a lot of different ideologies come in on how to raise that child. And so I believe that, like how you said, Israel, if men aren't trying to a make it seem as though the women are just liabilities and the women are coming to be assets to that man's life, I don't think we'll be having this discussion on why people are being divorced only here in America. But you know what I'm going to say, Luke? It's always going to be about because of this monogamous fantasy. What they
I knew you was
believe,
gonna go into it.
what they believe is, oh, my man is supposed to be only my man, and for some odd reason that only happens here in America. It's outlawed to have more than one wife here in America. All of these other melanated countries, all of the Africa, most of the Africa, the people in Haiti, like I was saying before, the people that is in all of these other countries are not sitting here saying you better not have more than one wife or we will lock you up. How is that even a thing to think about when you're talking about black people who multiply faster than any other race? Understand, we're going back to the original thing, which is the black woman who is the one that is able to create all of these different skin of people. The mitochondrial DNA of the black woman is the reason why you get dark, light skin, albino, and all of these other shades of people. So how you telling me that only I'm only supposed to have or just be in one type of situation or relationship? We are not going back to understanding what makes us us. And that's the identity problem that we have in here in America. Stop telling me I can only have one wife because the law of this land said that you're not supposed to have that. But when you got all of these men cheating on you and you're trying to figure out why and you feeling damaged as a woman, you're not trying to figure out why is the black man doing something. Sometimes it's not you. You don't always have to look inner and say it's your fault, black woman. Sometimes you need to understand why the black man is the black man, and instead of looking at all of what the white people are telling you what the black man is. Stop listening to doctors who only understand white culture. If these white doctors only lived in white places, in white neighborhoods, went to white high schools, went to the whitest colleges and Ivy League schools where you don't see many black people, I'm not talking about the African American person who came up from the suburbs. I'm talking about the black person from the south side of Chicago who probably was raised by a single mother who has become a doctor himself, beat the odds and statistics, and analyze that person, have that black doctor work on a black family instead of listening to what the white person is trying to tell you what the black family is. That's a problem.
Major problem.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off what you said, it's no coincidence, Solomon, that when he named these statistics, he named cultures that have multiple wives.
And those
Ain't that
cultures
funny?
do arranged marriages.
They do arranged marriages. Asian culture is another
Yeah.
culture name known for multiple women. They just don't talk about it that much. It's not a big deal. Only when we come to the West that you got to be in this romantic, right? This romantic, this drama. It got to be some drama. I need some spice, some tea. It can't just be this is what it. But it's funny. When he gave the statistics, he said only in America we have this problem with black people because as black people, we're the only melanated people that have a hard time building large families. Yep.
I don't think we got
That
a
is a
hard
big
time
issue of
building a
ours.
large family.
Well, when I said, but no, when I said no, I ain't talking about large like you got 12 children from one woman, because that's what massa made you do. I don't believe we would be this monogamous if we didn't come from a slave background where massa was the original arranger of marriages. If you a buck, you a buck, and I need good genes. That's just how. That's where we're getting this type of arrangement now. It killed our whole culture. We came from a culture where it was like, okay, cool, and maybe that you maybe it is what it was. It wasn't a big deal, but then we come into a situation to where it's now, no, I'm gonna set you up with her, and I'm gonna set you up with him, and this is how it's gonna be. Now we free, and the black culture was doing well, right? Because family was still a big thing. But
Yeah.
we started dealing with the women movement. I don't believe we was as strong as we tried to push, because how are you gonna tell me that we was that strong and one women's movement made our women look at us crazy? I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to believe we was that strong, because I don't feel that movement, that Me Too movement, would have really hit us that hard. But again, we still off the plantation. We ain't even got back to ourselves yet. We just don't have to look at them no more. We still have to figure out in the mind generationally, who the hell are we? So again, when I see my brothers and sisters over east, and they like, look, I got 2, 3 wives, it ain't no big deal. They don't even make it a big deal, because it's really not a big deal. I never seen the big deal to each their own, but I understand American law, and this money, this is a contract. It's different, and it plays a big part into how they built their society here. So I think we dealing with the remnants of it, Solomon. It's like we're at the last little bit of the cake, and everybody's starting to actually see what the plate look like.
Hmm.
Like for real, man.
And I think another reason why they people aren't getting married, our black people, is because they not proud of who they had children by. Putting the cart before the horse in this sense, instead of getting married, and then having children, they having children and not getting married. Because my logic, right? If you had 2, 3 babies by this lady, like You might as well. Like what? But they might not be proud of the person they had babies with, which is crazy. Cause I can see one accident, right? But you got two or three by the same lady. You might as well. That's too much like right, right? That's too much like right. But
I was talking to a lady about that earlier, a young lady about that earlier. She told me that she had 3 kids by the same person. I'm like, oh well, what I'm talking to you for then? That to me, that sounds like your husband.
yeah, you might
You
as
got 3 children.
well.
This person that sounds like your husband to me.
You locked in. 3 lifetimes in, you know? And then it's like if you're not proud of who you had children with, then you should never been with that person in the first place. Like you should have spent more time in getting to know this person before deciding to have children with this person. And I'm at least I could count on a handful of how many women I done had a conversation with when I met them, or that weekend bar conversation where they're like, yeah, they don't regret their child, but they just regret who they had it with. That's it, and that's the reason they not married. So bad P management, we gonna call it that.
Yeah,
All right,
I
fellas.
still think his statistics kind of prove what I said before. Most of y'all ain't got kids. Most of y'all don't. Most black men ain't got kids. Like his
Nah,
statistics
where
just
you
proved
be
it. He
at?
said
It seems like most of theirs at
it's
least
20% of us, bro. It's
mm,
20%.
that
Most,
don't.
and he said it. If it wouldn't be an issue if it was a lot of y'all having kids with a whole bunch of women and leaving them. We wouldn't have this issue. The issue is ain't no marriage and ain't no kids being made. We're at the lowest level of conception ever in history. Most black men are not having kids.
Can you
And I
believe?
and I think this plays a
Can
part
you
into the
blame them
conversation.
because of the comment? The
And
could
that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What did they teach us though, y'all? They told us to stop, look, listen, and think. Am I supposed to be mad at black men for stop thinking about their lives, thinking about their future, thinking about their finances, thinking about their freedom, looking around at their options, and then all they see is sexy red. And then they say, nah, maybe I'll wait. They said, nah, maybe this ain't the time. How can I be even mad at y'all? I have children, but I was blessed to find somebody I really wanted to have children with. And I didn't know how much of a rarity it was until now I'm 29 and still most of my class from the class of 2014 don't have children, black men. Still don't. I'm still one of the small percentage of people I graduated with. Over what's this 10 it's been 10 years. 2024 I've been out of high school for 10 years, and there's still a small percentage of us that have children, and then there's even a smaller percentage of us that are married, and then there's a itty bitty one or two that are married with children. I can't get mad at black men for saying I don't like my options right now, maybe I should wait. And it
or
can
the
become a
just
problem in the future if we don't
society,
handle the situation.
the way the
There's something
prices
wrong.
and
There's
stuff
something
is hiked
wrong,
up in the economy. The prices is like
man.
them prices way
Right,
too
right.
high. They need to cut it. You know.
Children cost the arm and the leg. I could witness to that.
So do you all agree with him about the reason why a lot of black people are married is because of the economy as well? So he's saying that these other countries and other ethnicities that are married have more money. Do you all agree with that when it comes to the economy part of his video?
Uh,
Do
no,
marriage make you
no.
more money?
Absolutely. I believe so because it's like two income household and it makes a lot of stuff easier. I ain't never been married, but I lived with a woman twice before and it makes a lot of stuff easier. But yeah, I would say yeah, it makes you more money, but just people if they say marriage makes you less, I don't see how. But from a outside looking in perspective, two incomes will make everything easier. And I'm sure that's where he got the statistics from with those. uh those marriage incomes for the Asians and the Chinese. So, white people. I think he down to white people. They make more than what he talking about on the marriage income thing. Talking about 80,000. He must
I
be
think
going to the poorest.
I think he was. Nah, he might have been right though, Israel. Because if you
Them
think
white
about
people
it,
make
you
more
remember
money than
Solomon
that.
said, "Do I gotta disagree with why they have it. I don't think it's the marriage. I think it's the ability to build financial uh, um, generational wealth. So if you're telling me, okay, the Indian Americans and the Chinese Americans are doing the most in the network, I think it plays a big part into their culture, the way they live. Yes, and then again, the marriages definitely play a big part, but it's a big part of their culture. They still have culture, like kind of really unadulterated culture. If they're coming from there, they're it's a benefit when you can come from another country with knowledge on what to do when you arrive in another country. You know what business to get into, you know how to work it. We know that the Asian community is great business owners when it comes to beauty supply. That is what they're known for. Or they may be into the food Chinese restaurant chain and they may be able to build something up. They come over, they get to work with what works for them over here. Indians, same thing. A lot of them are doctors, are into the medical field, right? Like they have certain practices or are into Indian bistros and they have chains. They come over from their land with knowledge and they apply it here. So it's like to me, it's like I think that plays a big part into it. And yeah, marriage does too. I can't really see them being two household incomes like kind of white, Hispanic, and blacks. I think that might be another reason why they make a lot more money. They're in fields that make larger amounts of money, but usually it's like one person. It's one heavy hitter, and then you know it's kind of twinkles down, almost like the old school, where one person income can take care of the entire household. So I think it plays a part into their culture. They come in with a whole mission when they come over here.
I
So
agree
I
with you.
got a question for the Pharaohs. So especially we can start this one with you and then go down to Solomon. So especially with you, we ain't gonna put you on blast, but kind of sort of. You said you got children, right?
Mm.
And you've been blessed to have them. Why you laughing? You've been blessed to have them by somebody that you love, right?
Hmm.
So how come you haven't pushed the button to get married in that sense then?
Very true. That's a great logical question.
Coming from
Unfortunately,
where we
a
come
part of
from,
my yeah, no, definitely. Well, that played a part into one. I was rebellious, so my rebellion kept me away from proper guidance. And then the lack of that proper guidance made me procrastinate, as a lot of young men do, something that I would definitely not recommend. I've tried to give the same advice to people who I see doing the same thing that I did. And during the time when we were planning marriage, unfortunately, COVID came, which became a whole nother distraction. And it got pushed to the back burner, which played a big part into why we separated. I mean, you can't play with that. Like, women find that to be a part of, like, this is the seal. And I have to say I'm completely wrong in that aspect of it. I did being young dumb, not understanding the value of it as much. Now though, where I'm at now mentally, the issue that I always have is, and I've been asked this question, I'm in the same position. I'm kind of messed up because I have children. So you can't make me wonder what it's like. I've been in the family. I've had the household where I take care of everything, and I got the children. And honey, I'm home. I've done it all. I've done that. And I always told myself, I said, well, if I did it again, I have to make sure that I get more out of it, because what I've learned with children and relationships, and when you're looking at somebody, a lot of men don't want to say it, but you got to know how to feed our ego. I work well when my ego is fed. You can call me wrong, you can call me whatever you want for that, but I know who I am. And I know what makes me tick and what makes me get up at 4 and 3 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 11, home every night, bills is paid, lights on. I know what make me tick with a smile on my face. It's when you feed my ego. It's when you let me know I appreciate you for being different. I appreciate you for having a passion. I appreciate you for wanting to help others, but always taking care of home first. If I don't feel appreciated, I don't work well. And I just have not found that, unfortunately. I don't know. I ain't really looking for it, but it's not, I think it's taboo now because it's like, well, a lot of women don't want to be put on the back burner. And my traditional lifestyle of what I would want would make some women feel like they put on the back burner. No matter how much I take care of them, it's just like they don't want to do that. They don't want to really kind of make me feel like it's like, okay, you doing your thing and I'm here with you. I support you. I got your back 100%. I ain't saying they don't exist. I'm not looking anymore. But because of what I went through, I have no interest to look as much. I'm so much now focused on building up my statue as a man in society. Because I've come to realize, and the realization is that I can have more children as long as I stay healthy. I can get married again as long as I stay healthy and I take care of myself. So now it's more of a like, you got to get yourself right, be to the best, the top level that you can, and then maybe I'll be worthy to find a woman that could feed my ego or feed the things that I may need. I may not even be worthy. I may not even be at the level of a man that I should be in order to pull or to attract the type of energy from a woman that I desire. I believe I still am immature in many ways, but I don't beat myself up over it. I'm 29 years old. Most men don't get it till they about 35, 40 years old, and I'm actually kind of ahead of the game. So I stopped beating myself up. I understood that was just my rebellious stage. And it's hard for women to grow with you. They kind of like you to be there. I wasn't there. I'm growing. And finding a woman that's patient with you while you grow into the man is not easy to do, which is why I always recommend men in the 20s to leave all that alone. It's enough time for you to do what I was doing. I was pushing, I was rushing, but it was no need to rush. You got to figure yourself out, get your finances right, get in solid in yourself before you bring anybody into your castle. Because if you're trying to build your castle up and take care of them, they gonna get tired of hearing construction. Even though construction is necessary, they ain't gonna want to hear that forever. So that, I know that's a long-winded answer, but yeah, that's kind of my little situation now.
Understood. Understood.
I'm still looking for my queen, as Prophet Hiram said yesterday. You know, he's talking about queens get you a king, king get you a queen. I'm still looking for my queen. I thought I had it a couple times. I think I'm a hopeless romantic. I fall in love a lot, pretty fast. But um, I'm taking my time though because I believe in making sure that the family is stable. So I'm going to always continue to keep growing, do new projects, do new different things. This is why I write books. This is why I have my own publishing company. This is why that, part of the reason of starting a podcast is doing these different avenues, especially in the year of 2024, where it doesn't have to be a 9 to 5 all of the time. When you have blessed hands and you're working your blessed hands, the Bible always say, your gifts will make room for you. So I always tell people, especially men that's growing into and want to find them a wife and want to start a family, make sure you are walking in your purpose first. It'll make it much easier to deal with any type of woman that you want for yourself or women to be attracted to you because they will come to you. You don't have to always look up and down and try to walk the streets to find a woman. The bishop used to tell us years ago, you don't want no alley walker. So don't walk in the alley. And the ones that are in the club, you don't have to get those either. Get the ones in the library, especially the ones with the glasses. Okay. This is the month of the glasses. I'm going to keep talking about these women with the glasses because they is fine.
Women with
They
the
is fine.
glasses.
The women with the glasses.
Mm.
That's my thought.
That's what's up.
All right. Fellas, is there anything else y'all want to mention before we get up out of here?
It's
No,
great. It's
I
been a
don't think so.
great episode.
This was good. I didn't know we was
Yeah.
gonna pivot the way that we did, but we did, and that video of marriage, being the divorce rate is the highest only in America is crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me, man. I don't know why that that is, but it is what it is. Family, we got some work to do, fam. We got some work to do. All right, family. That was episode 31 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. You can find me on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker. You can find me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want to get your book published, if you want to email me about anything, any business inquiries, anything like that, you can email me at cwalker1582 at gmail.com. Israel, where can people find you?
People can find me on the Pharaohs Podcast. You can email me at my email, johnatl61@gmail.com, or the Pharaohs Podcast. And I do have a website, but it's under construction at this point in time. Yeah.
Luke, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast as well, or at Luke733, lead the number 9 at gmail.com. Come on over with your complaints. Come on over with your criticisms. I hope we said something today that made you mad. Maybe might stimulated you or made you think a little bit, but that's what we here for. So I enjoy you all.
I'm glad
Like,
that you said that.
comment.
I'm glad that you said that, Luke. You just reminded me. Somebody went off on you on TikTok. Hold on.
Oh, that's
I
what's
forgot.
up. I'm so happy.
Oh, snap. I got a follow on TikTok.
Hold on, let me find it, man. Somebody went off on you on TikTok. I'm like, oh snap! I gotta tell Luke about this. I gotta find it. So it was the video. It was the take of you talking about that the stocks went up when Trump had got elected. He said the stocks went up the next day. And so somebody, Baylor, had commented from TikTok and said, somehow when the stocks went up under Biden, that doesn't reflect the economy. But when it go up after Trump get elected, it does. What a bunch of sheep. So Baylor called you a sheep, man. What you gonna? You got a response for Baylor?
Wow.
You got a response for Baylor?
But it did go up, didn't it?
Yeah, it went up. And what you said the name was? Taylor?
Baylor.
It ain't go up.
Baylor. No, they went up for win both. I mean, usually they do after an election because that's the most optimism for the market. So if they want to say, oh, they're right by there, absolutely. But the point we was making is that it wasn't just the stocks. The stocks is just another confirmation to let you know that the market is happy. So it's not taking nothing away from Biden. That's like saying, oh, but when I made the shot, y'all didn't clap as loud. Like, come on, grow up. That's not what we're talking about. Biden didn't win. Biden got kicked out from his own party. So it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to even think about when who cares? That's not what we're talking about. Now, if the statement was Kamala, the actual opponent, I can get it. But you're talking about somebody that's already in there. Of course, that's what happens when you win. But they lost. I'm not a sheep because I'm able to acknowledge the fact that they lost. I had nothing to do with it. If I ran the campaign, she would have won. If I ran that campaign, she would have won. So I have no sides. I look at what the American people want. Ain't that what they say? And the American people spoke, and I'm just one person, and I ain't even vote. I ain't vote. I'll be optimistic to say I was in my prophet mindset. I was praying for y'all. I was taught that I could pray. After all, on some real stuff, y'all. Like that's why I'm glad that they brought that up on TikTok. Because in reality, I didn't. I just wanted to look at what the people were saying. I feel that's our responsibility with this podcast. We have to look at what the people say, and we have to articulate it for what the people say, not for what we want it to be. So, hey, it is what it is. But I'll be back. I like that making mad.
Family.
Just make sure you like, subscribe, and tell your friends about us.
Yeah, absolutely. Family, if you like they say, you can reach us at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. If you guys want to email us anything, if you guys want to talk to us about anything, make sure you reach out, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody that, hey, you got 3 Coptic people up here and we got a podcast and we talk about everything, not just Coptic stuff, not just church, but we are very well versed and very universal with the topics that we have and that we come with. And also, if you're not able to watch us live on YouTube every Monday at 6 p.m. but 7 Eastern time, you can listen to us on Tuesdays on Spotify. Spotify 9 a.m. 9 a.m. every Tuesday on Spotify, but YouTube channel every Monday at 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, family. That's it for us. Peace.
Peace.